Here we're going to tie the H&L Variant. It's a classic dry fly. First thing we're going to do is lay some thread down on the base of the hook. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to stack the calf body hair for the tail. Try to get those tips even. Once we've done that, we're just going to line it up where we want it. We want the tail to be fairly short on this fly, right about there. I'm going to pinch it off. Start off with the loose wrap here. I'm going to hold the material up as I wrap back to the back of the shank of the hook, just like so. I'm going to draw up the butt ends of the material, trim out the excess. Now we need to strip out a piece of peacock for the body. We're going to strip off all the fluff so we just have the bare stem showing. Try to get it as clean as possible. None of those little fibers sticking off of it. There we go. We're going to just tie that in. Take our thread forward. We're just going to take that bare piece of peacock and wrap it forward, slightly overlapping, kind of overlapping each wrap. We're going to capture it. You can see the nice segmentation that we got with that peacock. Now, the next step is to actually take a piece of peacock herl, unstripped. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie this in at the front. We're going to wrap over our work just a little bit that we just did. And we're going to take that piece of peacock and give her a few turns. That's about enough there. Now we're ready for our wings. This is probably the most difficult part of the fly here. We're going to take that same calf body hair. We're going to stack those fibers in our hair stacker again. These are going to be our wings. We're going to tie our calf body hair in there, right there. We're going to lift up the material, force some wraps right in front of it. This essentially pinches it and forces it to splay upward. We get in there and trim out any of the extra stuff, extra butts. Trim out any of the wild hairs that don't want to cooperate with you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a clump, even clump here. We're going to splay it to one side. We're going to split these right down the middle here. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, once we have them semi-split, I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to parachute post them. I'm going to wrap around. This essentially binds them into one single clump. Got to do this carefully. It takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of fine tuning. Once I've got them both kind of wrapped, I get in here and I'm just going to clean everything up before I continue. There's always going to be a few that you trap, at least that I trap. I'm not perfect. Alright, now we'll continue just real quick. We're just going to do a little bit better job here. There we go. Perfect wings there. I think I got all the wild hairs. Now you're ready for your hackle. Alright, just measure out the hackle here. Make sure it's just a little bit longer than the bend of the hook there. I want it to just barely poke over the point. You see when I measure, it just goes right below the point. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to tie this in with the stem right behind the wings that we just tied. Trim out the extra piece of the stem. I'm going to take my thread forward to the eye. Now I'm ready to wrap my hackle. With each wrap, I just place it right in front of the other. Now I'm going to jump in front of my wings here. Go right to the eye. I can capture. I can get in there nice and close. Trim out that stem. I'm going to try to draw everything back just slightly as I wrap kind of the last part of the fly here. I'm going to wrap my head. There we go. And I can whip finish. And then once I'm whip finished, we have a finished H&L Variant. And you can kind of push your wings around a little bit, fluff them up. That is how you tie the H&L Variant.